Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jade and today I'm doing books I need to read. Like books that are just like screaming at me on my shelves to read. They're like, read me. So they're basically the books I'm most excited about, sort of, but they're the ones I own that I'm the most excited about because there's all kinds that I'm excited about. And there's a lot more, but these are the ones that like grab my eye. So a lot of this video is kind of going to be about how the cover looks because that's an important part of like what books grab my eye, of course, if I already own them, because I know I want to read all of my books, but this is books that like are screaming at me to read them. So the first one I have is The Queen of Blood by Sarah Durst. I want to read this book so incredibly much because one of my favorite booktubers talks about it all the time and like raves about it. So I know it'll be good. And also, look at this cover. Look at like how intense it is and how many things are in it. How could you not want to read it? I don't even know exactly what it's about. Obviously it involves a kingdom and probably magic. So that's something I always love. So I'm pretty sure I'll love it. But this is just a book I really want to read and I need to. I honestly think this is like one of the next books I'm going to read because it's been bothering me a lot. Well, all of these have though. The next book I have is The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. This book I think sounds so interesting. I've always loved fairy tales and like seeing them kind of like redone or like have their own spin on it. I think will be super duper amazing. And just look at it. Just look at this book. It's the prettiest book I've ever seen. They're so pretty. I don't know how authors are doing this like with covers. I'm going to show you some other ones where I'm just like, But I can't wait to read it. I know a lot of people on BookTube didn't like it that much, but I'm hoping I will because I'm kind of not as picky, if I'm going to be honest. So we'll see how the story unfolds. The next book I have is Children of Blood and Bone by Tommy Adenami. This book, I need to read it. I know I need to. For one, it's absolutely gorgeous as well. But mostly it's because everyone raves about it so much and I want to read a book set in a different setting than I'm used to. I read books all the time set in like completely different worlds, set in America or set in the Middle East, which are like my favorite books because for some reason I love desert settings. But I would love to read a book set in Africa because that's nothing I don't think I've ever read before. Besides, I've read a couple classics with that. I read Things Fall Apart. So of course that takes place in Africa, but this is like a fantasy in Africa, and I think that will be really, really amazing. So I'm pretty excited about that. The next book I have is Just One Day by Gail Foreman. This one is more about the author. I really, really want to read this author again. I loved If I Stay and Where She Went. Where She Went I think is so cool just to see how things have unfolded, and I absolutely loved it. And that's actually one of my favorite movies. Like, I loved the movie adaptation of it. I don't care if a movie doesn't really compare to a book as long as it's a good movie, and that's a good movie. So I just really, really want to read this. I got it for free when I pre-ordered her new book that came out, so that's kind of exciting too. And just, I don't know. Also, though, the cover is really cool, and I haven't really seen a lot of books like that. Even though I know there are a lot, I don't own any like this. And I think it's just really beautiful, and I kind of want to know what happens in just one day. The next book I want to read is Blue Lily, Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater. I love the Raven Cycle series so much, and I want to continue with it. This is the third book, and it's also the prettiest book. Look at this cover, so I'm really excited to read it. I'm going to read it this summer. This is a book that when I look at it, I'm like, this summer is the perfect time when I'm sitting outside in the sun, super hot, and it's just, Also, I love books like these. Scholastic books I just love because they're floppy and sturdy, and it's just amazing. I don't know why, but I just really do love these books. So I'm super excited, and I'm also excited because obviously I'm pretty sure this book's going to be more about Blue, which I think will be really interesting to get into her life again, because the second book didn't really focus on Blue at all, so I kind of want to see what turns up with that. But the next book I have is The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X. This book is about a girl whose mother commits suicide, so then she leaves and goes to Taiwan to meet her grandparents that she's never met before, and she kind of learns a lot about her family's history and things she never knew, but also at the same time she's seeing this crane constantly, and she thinks that this crane is her mother reincarnated. So it's a lot about dealing with the effects of suicide and also just having your life turned upside down. And also, I kind of love this cover because it's beautiful, but there's also so much meaning behind it. Like, it has the crane, which is her mother, and then it's the astonishing color of after. So it's like kind of dealing with the after effects of suicide, and just, I don't know, I think it's so amazing, and I have a feeling that it's going to be beautifully written, because if you have a cover like this full of like beauty and importance, I feel like your words will be. So I hope I'm right, because if I'm wrong, that will honestly make me pretty darn sad. But the next book I have is With Malice by Ellen Cook. Bella, you're breathing loud. My dog came in my room and she's loud. This book is about a girl who goes on a school trip to Italy, and then something happens. She wakes up in the hospital. She doesn't really remember, I think. And then people suspect that she killed one of her classmates or something like that. Yeah, so like the media is portraying her as the person who killed her best friend because of like a jealous rage, and like she doesn't know why this is happening really, because she didn't kill her friend and she doesn't know who did. So it's sort of like a high stakes mystery, and honestly it's just the cover that entices me, because this is so like, this is like nothing I've ever seen before. I've never seen a cover like this, and it feels so cool, and just like with the like pictures of Italy's like houses in the hills in the background and just the colors and everything together, I don't know, I just think it will make for a really wonderful book, and it really, really catches my eye when I see it on my shelf. I'm like, dang, that looks good. The next book I have is definitely a book I want to read because of the author, which is Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. He is my favorite author, and I really want to read more books by him, so I'm so hoping to do that. This is also a book I see me reading in the summer. I look at it and like, I'm going to enjoy that in the summer. But this is just a really, really high fantasy, so there's so much that goes into it. And it's about these people who live in this place called elantris, and they have powers and stuff, but it like starts to disappear or something. So it's going to be really intense. And I also love it because like it's really big and floppy, and it's just fun to hold, and I think it'll be really awesome to read. So I'm just kind of like excited about that. The next book I have is the second book to the Queen of the Tearling series. It's The Invasion of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. This book is definitely the prettiest in the series, which is why I really want to read it. Like one of the reasons why well, that's not why I want to read it, but it's like a benefit. And I really can't wait to get back into this world, because this is like one of the best worlds with like queens and like developing and political issues and all of that kind of stuff, and I'm so excited because I know something big that's going to happen. It's just obvious that it will, and I want to see how it happens and how it gets handled and the aftermath and everything like that. So I think this is going to be like one of the best books, and I'm also definitely going to read it this summer. I think I might try to finish the series in the summer, because that'd be really awesome if I had one less series I have to read. I think that would be nice. Then the last book I have is another series, which I kind of need to finish. And that's Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. It's the 4th book in the Throne of Glass series. And I've been afraid to pick this up because a lot of people talk about how just a lot of things change in this book. They talk about how there's a new character introduced that they like more than Selena, and that upsets me because I love her and I don't want her to change, because I'm pretty sure something happens where people don't like her as much, and then there's the whole issue with like Cole or something, and like he becomes a dick. I don't even know. There's bad things that happen in this book, and I know that, and I don't want to read it because I'm afraid, because the 3rd book was so beautiful. I loved the 3rd book. It was my favorite book in the entire series, you guys. Like, I think the world just got so much, it was expanded so much more, and you understood so much more, and like people's choices and like why, and just, I'm scared, but I'm gonna read this. This is also a book I imagine me reading in the summer, where I can get really into it and I can just cry. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below. Comment some books that you're really hoping to read, like either this summer or right now, or just books that are like screaming at you to read and you need to. I'd love to know what books you guys are wanting to get into, and maybe I can add some more. But I love you all so very much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye!